Yeah. Oh no! Don't play again. Oh dear Lord. uh, what is this layout now? What has happened? Oh no!
Wax lips.
Wax lips.
Melanie over there. Just yep.
Hey, those are things they still sell. Those are safe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the music didn't go through on the radio side either. I don't know why.
Awesome.
Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix podcast live train wreck. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Okay, well, people will at least ideally be able to see our faces. And we should be streaming to Helix Rock Radio at rockradio.live. Yeah, trying out another streaming service. This has been a debacle, because you know what, we joke 8:30 ish, but like 8:48, 8:50 ish is pushing it. We don't. This is 9-ish. We don't like that. That's a little late.
Yeah.
Ignore the disappearing woman, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we told ourselves before we started.
This is brutal. And Melanie keeps getting booted it's like not even a minute.
It's 2 minutes and 7 seconds, okay, according to my thing.
Oh, you're keeping track. Well, 2 minutes.
All right.
We'll just have to keep this episode extra short.
The timer is back. We got a timer again.
You're right.
Yeah, we didn't have a timer last time. We were like, oh no.
Are we actually live? This is not fascinating radio, but we are. Okay, it says we're live. Okay, yeah, good.
We got a little live thing up in the corner. It says we're live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're live, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to check on Facebook. All right, so we're going to talk about some things and some stuff. But before that, how are you two doing?
Yeah, what she said.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. You glitched on us a little bit, but I hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a big delay too.
There is quite a bit of a delay because I hear you. She's just in the other room. I hear her, and then I hear her.
Ooh.
So it's all good. I hit a button. Did something horrible happen? Oh God, it's one of those situations.
Don't touch anything.
Nothing. Well, hey, we didn't stream on social last week, so I definitely wanted to be sure to hit social this week. So we're trying out Restream. Not that you guys care, but it's going. However, that's not what we're going to talk about all night. Let's talk about some stuff we consume, some entertainment, some TV, some movies. Maybe we read a thing, listened to a cool thing, watched a somewhat underwhelming trailer for a show we like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You thought so too? I just watched it.
Bit. Like a little, like that's the trailer, huh? Or that's the teaser? Like that teases nothing. Like unless you're into obscure little Easter eggs. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. But like,
I know this is out of order, but maybe it will actually be a shorter episode if we lead with the Doctor Who stuff.
So you are a gambler, man.
You're right.
You are a gambler.
You can always say if we don't get to the other stuff, then at least we did Doctor Who. We could do it that way. You know?
Ooh, I like that.
That's true.
Things. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, this is Doctor Who.
We're skipping right to the end. We're going all.
We're going all out of order.
So what we were talking about is there was a clip from the Doctor Who Christmas special, which is coming up before too long. But it was a clip they aired during the BBC Children in Need thing. I also thought for the most part it was a weird clip to choose specifically for that, because I'm like, the doctor ranting about evil corporations and them like Q&A with a hologram about just most of it was just like plot crap, just like exposition. I'm like, this is your clip?
Yeah.
But then
It's
the dinosaur
kind of
showed
giving
up.
away, kind of giving away the ghost, giving away the story a little bit, and yet not enough to be compelling.
Right. Though that's the thing, it wasn't compelling at all. It was like
Right.
boring exposition. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, this is definitely the stuff you kind of like leave out of the trailer because it's, need to know once you're in the episode, but this isn't going to hook anybody. This is terrible. This is a bad clip. But it's also clearly then the introduction of like, well, there's dinosaurs this episode. So that's got to be what it was for.
Well, and like the AI guy is a Silurian, so it's like, oh, okay, so we got dinosaur people from the past, but we don't realize we're in the past because it's not really like they could be anywhere, but they're in a tree house or something, and you don't know that you're like in the past with dinosaurs until he says, well, like 62 billion years too early or too late or something like that, and then there's a dinosaur, and the dinosaur is just there to chew up some briefcase.
Talking about you don't have any festive Christmas dinosaurs every year for your house?
I forgot about it the last couple of years. Like as we get the old Velociraptor garland. It's got to be Velociraptor accurate. It's made of feathers and whatnot. But yeah,
in a very tropical looking prehistoric setting in a tree house,
little Coco Cabana style Velociraptor Christmas.
Yep. With the exploding tree star.
Yeah, clever girl.
Tree star.
Oh no, tree star. Oh yeah. Oh no, I don't like
just
to cry every Christmas.
I had thought processes that I'm making connections to now, or connections between, because I was thinking like, it's literally just one little clip, and we're already just being so salty and just crapping on it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, we grew up on the horror of Tree Star in the Land Before Time. You know what? We were made this way.
We really were.
What?
Kids are really just hammering my Gen X-ness lately too. And they're just like,
Yeah?
that's pretty Gen X. And I'm like, that's because I am. And they're like, yeah, we know.
Oh no.
Like, what does that mean? What do you mean?
Okay boomer.
No.
The okay boomer like thing is caught up to Gen X now.
Apparently.
Good. Because before okay boomer, before they got railed, the millennials had been railed for like 20 years online, it seemed like, for whatever reason.
They left us alone for a long time, and there was a really good reel or Vine or whatever about this, and I think it stands. Y'all don't know who you're messing with when you mess with Gen X. We don't care. We don't care about your feelings. We do care about your feelings until you come at us, and then we don't care about your feelings.
I remember Gen X took quite a hammering in the 90s, because I remember, but like that's because like they were the like
it's because we were kids.
The kids, the whippersnappers, the teens, maybe starting to break into the 20s.
We were the lazy, disaffected youth that listened to Nirvana.
Right. And then I don't know at what point it happened, but then it became millennials for way longer than it needed to be, and nobody knew who millennials actually, like what age range that actually was.
Right.
It was pretty much just everybody under a certain age until suddenly there's like two other generations under millennials. It's like, you guys gotta get this straight.
And y'all got to remember that Gen X grew up on toys.
Yeah, I didn't think I was a millennial for a long time.
Oh, yeah. All of our toys were battle toys. They were barbarians with swords. They were military groups that went up against terrorist groups. They were robot cars that fight each other. Like everything about Gen X fought. So careful. You watch yourself. when you come at Gen X.
But you know what though, and the state of America is proving that because Gen X ain't the young whippersnappers anymore.
No.
They're just going to become the boomers. And eventually the millennials are going to become the boomers. We're all just going to become boomers at a certain point because I think there's a larger enough.
But there's the thing with the boomers is there's too many of them. So it's going to jump from the boomers straight to the Gen Z. It's going to skip over Gen X and millennials. We just don't even count.
Just like it always was.
You do. You're such this is the middle child syndrome right here. Yeah. That's the problem. We went from
this way. That's why we're mean.
We went from
hurt your feelings.
They're such the neglected middle child. They just want your attention, but they don't, because they're too good for that.
That's right.
That's
right.
They don't need your attention.
Quit looking at me, Swan.
Melanie, you're right. You poked a hole in my concept of we're all boomers eventually, because you're right. That's why there's so much power in a specific generation, is because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But there's also I think a large enough majority of every generation that sucks and will end up just dragging it down for the rest of us, regardless which generation.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we do. Welcome to Grawlix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about Doctor Who.
I was going to say, we talk about Doctor Who until it pisses us off.
Oh, it's my fault. I brought up tree stars, but it's about dinosaurs, and they were talking about stars exploding. So, I mean, and Christmas. How could I not make that connection?
That's right. Starseed, whatever it was like, you don't mess with a starseed, just like you don't mess with Gen X.
Yeah, we grew up on media that was constantly trying to kill our mothers and teach us that the rich evil CEOs are the bad guys of the world. You think we'd be in a little bit better place right now?
No, nope. They won't chase your kids on bikes with a gun.
Right.
In unmarked white panel vans. E.T.
We've learned nothing at all.
They'll kill your best friend. He's a little guy. He can heal you with his finger. Don't think about that too much.
Ouch.
Right.
That I like E.T., but I understand the people who are like, creepy. I hate E.T.
It is creepy, but that's what made it so good. It was like, he's not supposed to be the cutest. He's not Gizmo. He's not the cutest thing. He's an alien, and he is creepy, and he does scare you, at least for the first half of the movie, until you realize he doesn't mean any harm, but he will get you drunk in the middle of a school day.
They find him dead in a ditch. He's so pale. It's so bothersome. That movie is so bothersome.
Yeah, on every level.
But sure, Spielberg. Take out the guns. That's the thing that bothers kids about that movie.
Right? Yeah.
He's since walked that back. He regrets doing that, but dude, you shouldn't have done it. I guess I get it. I guess I get it at a point. I don't know, but not really. It doesn't change anything.
No.
At least when I watched it, I wasn't that concerned about the agents having guns. I was concerned when they found E.T. dead in a ditch, bone white.
I was concerned that Elliot was going to die in the first 15 minutes of the thing. It was like, right. What are you doing? You're leaving a trail of candy from the garage. You'll be a hobo axe murderer.
So Doctor Who. I really, you know what? I honestly, I was like, I don't think we're going to have much to say about this clip, but I knew this would happen because this is what happens.
Yeah.
It's magic, man. It's magic. It's like
So-
pronouncing Chudigatwa's name.
Well, nicely
Magic.
done, I think.
Well, it doesn't hurt that at the beginning of the clip he introduces himself and pronounces his own name for us.
I feel bad for Melanie. It's cutting her. She's getting booted constantly. That sucks. Like listener, if you can hear a little bloop, I don't know if that I can hear that, or if you guys can hear that, or just me. But that's
I don't
Melanie.
hear it, but there is usually like just a slight of a delay when she kicks back in, and that's the only thing I'm noticing.
Well, we'll see what happens in the future. 7-day money back guarantee on this service. I might have to take them up on that offer.
Right.
I'm sure it's fine. We need to, honestly, I should just sidestep all this and figure out, not that that's going to be easier. Like there's like OBS Ninja, I can figure it out. Basically, I could create a solution that will route us together, but there's no way that's going to be easier. That's going to be worse.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Google Hangouts. That still exists, right?
No.
No,
No,
it does not.
Oh, I forgot about Google Hangouts. That's what we used forever.
Yeah.
Just to
that's
get
how
the
we
audio
recorded.
call and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you could use that to stream to YouTube, and then they took that away. See, we could stream directly to something like that, but I don't want to cut out. I mean, I don't know about Twitch. I know we get listeners on there once in a while, viewers there once in a while, but YouTube I think is good for like archiving these things because they stay on YouTube, and Facebook is good for interaction traditionally.
Right.
So I don't want to cut out all the social channels, but whatevers.
But since we're talking about channels, Blue Sky.
Right. Have you been over there? Are you rocking out over there?
I'm on it. I like it. It's like what Twitter used to be. Like it, and it's like what a lot of social medias used to be. Like I have a feed that's just who I follow, and it's in chronological order. Do you guys remember what that was like? Because that's Blue Sky and it's magic.
Dude. Sorry, Melanie. I'm sorry you got to keep doing that.
It's okay. I need to figure out if there's something I can do to make it work better. Because I mean, the internet's going strong. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, me either. It's some type of Restream Studio does not play well with non-PC Chrome browsers. Apparently.
Yeah.
If you get booted again and you want to take a moment, you don't have to connect right away. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you shouldn't if you don't want. I want you here, but you don't have to. You can take a break if you need to. It's fine.
Okay.
I do want to talk about Blue Sky, but let's hold that for when Melanie gets booted off because she doesn't care about Blue Sky.
I really don't. I don't give a crap.
That's fair.
So I'm trying to think of something that we might have watched recently, so we can do a little bit of that. We already talked about Renfield. The only movie Melanie and I have watched together is Magnolia, and nobody's clamoring to hear us talk about 1999.
Wow. All right.
From 1999, right?
Yeah.
3 hour long P.T. Anderson, slightly arty drama.
Yeah, because Randy just gets a bug up his butt once in a while to make me sit through 3 hours of drama for some reason. I don't understand.
It's dramatic. Yeah.
I like it. I don't know why, because it's a movie that pops in my head fairly often. Not fairly often, but occasionally, and it's one that Melanie hadn't seen. But it's like in my mind, like it's not Paul Thomas Anderson's most popular movie, but it's kind of essential late 90s when IFC was rolling strong, and the spirit of independent film was getting big budgets and directors like Paul Thomas Anderson. So it's kind of a classic to me.
Yeah.
She said a bunch of stuff, and I was waiting for it to come through, and then it booted her.
Perfect.
Hold that thought. When you reconnect, I want to hear what you said just now. Okay?
Except you told her that she could take a break.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, that's why I'm saying it loudly now.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I need a cup and string so I can communicate directly to her in the other room.
Or a walkie-talkie.
Right.
Spielberg.
We're just start podcasting via walkie-talkies. If you have one, you're on the right signal and you're within like a, 300-yard radius or something you could listen into.
Or on Helix Rock Radio, because we'll put one right next to the
Right.
receiver, and it'll go to the Helix Rock Radio listeners, and it'll be like we're in a fort.
Right. That'd be
Welcome
that
to
sounds
Grawlix,
cozy.
the Grawlix Fortnite.
Way less cool now.
You just hated it. Yeah. I could watch it. I watched it in real time. How much it went from being an awesome thing to shut up.
Although, what's up? That'd be good for us. Huh? That'd be good for SEO, maybe. Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Blue Sky for a second. Because so I hitched my wagon on Threads the day it launched.
Yeah, I tried. I wanted to like it.
I gave it a lot of time. I don't hate it. I still don't hate it. No, I like some of the people I've connected with on there.
Sure.
It sucks. Threads sucks.
Yeah, it's never hooked me. Like I wanted to like it because I hate Twitter. That's the only reason that I wanted to like it. But I saw this mass exodus to Blue Sky, and I was like, Thread's not working for me. I don't want to be on Facebook. I am, but I don't want to be because I'm just buying a bunch of crap I don't need. Like Facebook's algorithm is strong in that regard, and that's the problem with
selling you stuff.
It's the problem with Threads. It's the problem with Instagram. It's the problem with Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that's all it's there for, is to sell us stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about it. Like I've been sold stuff my entire life. My favorite shows were a commercial for toys that I needed to beg for. Right. So I am prime for that, and I don't need that. I've got plenty of that. I got Skeletor over my shoulder here, so I don't need that.
It's a good point.
Blue Sky, man, it's just like a breath of fresh air. Like it's what social media felt like in the early days of Twitter, or like the really early days of Twitter, but also most social media, where it's like you get a chronological feed. Now I'm not saying that's going to stay forever, but for right now it just feels good, and it's been a while since social media made me feel good.
Threads. Hey. So what were you saying about Magnolia? We were just gonna jump back and forth between conversations.
I was just saying, at that point in time in my history, I was avoiding everything that had Tom Cruise in it. That's why I hadn't watched it. It was intentional. So.
Right. And Tom Cruise's character is insufferable, but he's supposed to be insufferable. He plays, I can't remember the guy that he's loosely based on, inspired by. But we edited him. Melanie and I actually just edited not too long ago an interview with that guy that Paul Thomas Anderson based Tom Cruise's super douchey character off of. We edited an interview with him for one of our clients. And he's like got a newspaper on the wall, Tom Cruise's face, about how Tom Cruise is playing a character inspired by this guy. And it's like, have you watched the movie, dude? That's not a thing to be proud of.
Right.
He is just the worst person.
Yeah.
In a movie full of pretty terrible people. He's one of the worst.
That was a time where I was kind of shocked that Tom Cruise would even play a character like this, because
Yeah.
up until that point, first of all, you didn't see him in anything independent, and second of all, like, he wasn't really playing the villain. Like, he was always Top Gun. He was always the main guy. He was always A Few Good Men, that kind of thing.
Yeah, what year was
maybe
Eyes
that's
Wide
what
Shut?
happens.
Not that he's the villain. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that maybe that's what happens to men when they age. Like women always end up playing the grandma in their like 30s or something. Well, men get to be the villain when they hit a certain age.
Well, and I can't remember what year Eyes Wide Shut was, but he also did that, and I think that was probably Jesse's video looks frozen. Maybe it's not. I think Jesse's frozen. Am I frozen?
No, maybe he's just contemplating.
He's deep in thought. Maybe he was traumatized by Eyes Wide Shut. But I think he was making a push to get like certain kind of movie roles, maybe at that point, more edgy. I don't know. But
that's what his theta called for, right? Is that what they call it?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not an expertise in that. Jesse's really thinking hard.
Oh,
and he's gone.
Now, what attempting?
Yeah, this sucks. All right, restream is not going to work. Well, anyway, and now I'm by myself. But don't worry, that's never stopped me before. So I finally. It is a little awkward that nobody's here now. Anyway, I'll keep talking. You're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You want to cut it short or something?
I mean, we're going to have to at a certain point, because this is Grawlix and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Gee golly willikers, I don't know how much longer we can put up with these gold darn problems. Don't worry about me, I'm just embarrassing myself over here.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the actually only person on the screen.
Jesse's whole PC froze up.
Oh, crap. Or, oh, snap.
Oh, crap is fine. What you talking about? Oh, snap. Yeah, that is what it says, huh?
Yeah.
When it glitches. I don't really know what to say at this point. This sucks. Okay, well, we tried. That's what I'll say. We tried. We had some conversation. It was all going to go fun places. But now I'm just sitting here talking to myself again. So what I was going to say... Oh, it's alternating guests. Or not guests, alternating co-hosts. Black screen, that is Jesse. Oh boy. So in case you're wondering, viewer, Restream Studio, that's what we're using right now. That's the quality. This is the quality you're seeing. It's Restream. I want to make sure, you know what? I want to give them props where it's due. I want everybody to know the problems with this presentation is a result of Restream.io. Good product.
Well, to be fair, I'm on my phone. That's not ideal.
Yeah, but no, and I agree. And as a podcast editor who edits video podcasts, I hate when people connect on their phone. But everybody does it on their phone now. Like the technology, it exists. We can make it happen. But
Yeah.
it's still. Anyway, we're all here.
We're all here, and I'm thankful
Hey.
for that.
So I finally finished the Godzilla movies. I took a long break after my big binge this summer or whenever it was. The last Godzilla movie that I hadn't watched yet this year was Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire,
Oh, right.
the newest one. I watched
Yeah.
it, so I have now officially watched every Godzilla movie and a whole lot of non-Godzilla tangentially connected movies, like 50 something kaiju movies this year. But I figured I should finally. It was the weekend, and I was like, Melanie's not here. She definitely doesn't want to watch this. In fact, she just left. Yeah, I don't need to get into it, but I watched it. It's dumb. It's so stupid, but it's enjoyable. I kind of think the first Godzilla X Kong was maybe better.
Oh,
But-
yeah. The one previous to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Kong, whatever that one was called.
Kong versus Godzilla or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one they have to team up and be friends, and Kong's hand gets frozen, so he needs a robot
It's
a robot
so
hand.
stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, and it ties into this show on Apple TV called
Oh.
what's it called, Monolith or something like that.
Monarch.
Monarch, yeah. And so there's all sorts of like tie-ins to that I didn't get, but you could tell that something's been going on, and since we last saw them.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just like, yeah, I don't expect the continuity and the storytelling to be super tight, so I didn't think about it being like plot holes because I hadn't, or missing gaps because I hadn't seen the show. I forgot the show existed. But Kong's got a metal tooth and a robot hand, and Godzilla absorbs a bunch of energy and gets pink glow. It's a very synthwave movie. Also, like the color palette is so like there's just stuff that's just like synthwave wallpaper, like visualizers for no reason. Hollow Earth, and then
like,
also there's an under there.
That's
under
what I was
Hollow
gonna say.
Earth.
It's like, listen, if Hollow Earth wasn't too crazy of a concept to already figure out, now let's go underground Hollow Earth.
Yeah, why was that? Did they not think? Why was that necessary?
How can you get underground the core? Like, wouldn't that just like push you further back up? If you go underground in the Hollow Earth, then you're just, what is that, Middle Earth, or is that too elfy?
Oh, you can't call it that. They'll get
You
sued.
can't call it Middle Earth, like what we call it, the subterranean world. Is that what they call it?
The
The Underdark.
whole it's a cool, and that's the thing with the Hollow Earth thing. The visual's super cool. It makes no sense.
Right.
No sense. It's daylight all the time, except technically never daylight because there's no sun under there.
Right.
Yeah, it's nonsense, but
Earthception.
yeah.
We have to go further into the dream. We have to go into the dream within the dream.
It's very, and I kind of feel like as soon as they bring Kong in, it becomes very Kong centric. Kong has, and I think the one before it was kind of Kong centric. Because
he's more tied to the humans, and the humans do the talky bits, whereas Godzilla just does the fighting.
Yeah, Godzilla's much more animalistic. Kong's always been very humanized, but I guess I kind of like that. But it's inevitable then that they're going to lean towards more when it comes to storytelling. Well, Kong's the one we can do more storytelling through. He's not an angry lizard who just wants to chomp things and fall asleep in the Colosseum,
Right. It's interesting that they've kind of like embraced this world now, where they're just like, listen, he's in the Colosseum now. And then You know, like there's just days where you're not going to be able to do your job because Godzilla's there, and you just accept it now. And then at some point in the future, he's going to wake up, and then it's like a snow day. Like, oh, it's Godzilla day. Everybody stay home. You're gonna remote into work today.
Sorry, I'm typing. You can hear it too. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing that really caused my computer to crash, I think, is that I was on another tab in Chrome. That seems to be a theme here. I was on another tab just to answer the question from before, which nobody is worried about anymore. 1999 is when Magnolia came out.
Right, yeah. Magnolia's 99. What about Eyes Wide Shut? Was that also 90?
Oh, wait, no. Eyes Wide Shut came out in 99. So it was the same year. And so he was not worried about being a hero anymore. He was
he was on a kick. He's trying. I'm trying to get some respect.
Yeah.
And Paul Thomas Anderson had just done Boogie Nights a couple years before. That was the movie before Magnolia. And that did get gangbusters and got big critical acclaim. So yeah. And like, it's one of those movies where everybody in it, like, and it's an ensemble piece, their stock gets kind of elevated because it both did well. Studios love that. Mm-hmm. And also critically was applauded, did well.
Likely didn't cost very much. Maybe
right.
About that. I mean, anytime that Tom Cruise was attached to something, it was expensive.
Right.
But maybe it wasn't that expensive because he knew what he was doing.
Right. Well, yeah, and there are big kind of ambitious movies, but they're ambitious in like character scope, not really in. They're not like big action pieces. Boogie Nights would have been a period piece, so that would have upped the cost quite a bit. But yeah, they're not like big blockbuster. There's no action set pieces. There are kind of some weird set pieces, but the main thing with Magnolia, since we touched on it real quick, is, man, it's weird, it's quirky, it's definitely got that very particular quirk to it, and it's a bummer. It's sad. It's a bummer. It's a lot about death, but also at times it's like funny, just in like not like out and out jokes, just the way people interact. But more than anything for me, the film, the style, it's got such a like interest. Like there's so many characters and it bounces between them, but there's so much momentum from the music and the camera work. Like it seems like you're always just going forward. You're following somebody forward. You're pushing in towards somebody before it cuts and pushes towards somebody else. Like it seems like there's so much movement that 3 hours is kind of long. We didn't watch it all in one sitting. But it kind of makes it the pace stays up, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
This stream is super ADHD because I don't even know where we're at. And I
man,
cut us away from the last thing we were talking about.
So Melanie, it booted her out of the browser, which is weird because it's a mobile phone. You don't usually, at least I don't ever experience like mobile phone browser crashing, but
right.
So she's done.
Yeah, as long as your screen is on, usually you're okay. But like, yeah, maybe not.
Bummer. Well, we'll figure it out eventually. I just always forget. I always forget till like the day of. Like I just signed up for this service today because I was like, oh man, I need to figure this out. Restream. That's a name I know. Right. Might as well. But I don't. This whole like studio thing, this whole like StreamYard style thing, I don't think they've had this for all that long.
Right.
Anyway, let's talk about Blue Sky for a hot second because we got interrupted. Blue Sky, when they finally got me an invite, because I did eventually get an invite before it opened wide, but it was like a year after I had requested one.
Yeah. And that's why I was kind of like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd already bought in on Threads. And it was kind of a pain in the butt. And I tried to sign up once I finally got my invite, and it didn't really work. And so I was like, nah, whatever.
But for me, what's really, and it's just recently where I've been like, yeah, Blue Sky is what it's going to be, which sucks because I put so much, whatever time, but I really did hitch my wagon to Threads, even though I don't like Meta, but I kept hoping they would do the smart thing and build another Twitter, and they didn't.
No.
That's not what Threads is, and that might be their. I'm sure they'd say that was their point. They don't want to build another Twitter. Well, then don't build a Threads. Don't do it at all.
Yeah. Because
that's
otherwise
not what
it's just Facebook again, or it's just Instagram again. And then why did we need it at all? Yeah.
But recently, well, for one, I knew Threads was going to get ads eventually. They'd said that from the beginning. Like, we're not going to do ads right now, but eventually there will be ads. It's like, well, of course there will be. Otherwise, there'd be no incentive for the company to invest that much time and effort into it.
Right.
But I think there was a story they announced that early 2025 or sometime in 2025, the ads will come. And so a lot of people started jumping ship over to Blue Sky, I noticed. But I think more than that, and the reason why Blue Sky is really popping off for me right now is the people who'd never left Twitter for whatever reason.
Right.
They didn't go to Threads. They're finally like, whatever, I don't know if it's the election or whatever it was, probably partially, not just the results of the election, but I'd seen some interesting statistics about how the algorithm happened to change the exact day Elon decided to hitch his wagon to Trump, and like it started boosting certain kinds of tweets very aggressively.
Right.
So I think that broke it for a lot of people. Finally. But a lot of people from Twitter, including a lot of people I used to follow on Twitter, like I said, Twitter was my favorite specifically through my Super Science account because I was following the right people. I had that streamlined.
Sure.
They're moving over to Blue Sky now, and I've been finding them. And some of the people I follow, several of the people I follow on Threads, the new people, are also moving over there. So I've been following them. So I'm like, ooh, it might be the best of both worlds.
And the interface feels like old school Twitter. Yeah. Like there's a lot to like.
I think Meta was worried they didn't want Twitter to become toxic and they didn't want the political blah, blah, blah. So they intentionally have avoided all the features that made Twitter useful. And that's the frustrating thing. Like Threads' version of hashtags is a mess. I hate it. It's totally useless. But the hashtags on Blue Sky, like, yeah, this is why they were useful. It's so handy for following events, current events, finding communities, man.
And that's the thing that Blue Sky actually is really good at too, is like they have their starter pack or starter page or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Like, that's kind of a cool idea. And then they have multiple different feeds. Like you can follow just the people you're following, and that's its own feed. You can use the discovery feed, which is like your For You page or whatever, right? And then you can also go into, I don't even remember what it is. Oh, I think it's just feeds, right? Or lists. You can create your lists just like you could on Twitter, but there's feeds too. And that can be like what my friends are all following, or, like they have lists too, and it's like trending, but it's a little different. Like it's much more siloed. It's more, subject specific.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, like Film Sky or whatever hashtags for like different communities and stuff. There's feeds set up where you can follow a feed and then pin it to your homepage so it becomes another little tab above, your following feed and discovery, and there's your Film Sky or whatever other feeds you want to follow right there. I also love that the following tab is just following in chronological order. And when I'm on it and I click on a post or click away and then come back, it doesn't reset me to the algorithm feed every freaking time like Threads.
Right.
It's so frustrating. Like, I'll be on my following tab. Even on desktop, you can set up multiple columns. I still don't like it because you can't really ever get rid of the algorithm. It's always there.
Yep.
And if you click away, even if you're on your following feed and then like hit back, it goes right back to the like default algorithm. It's so needy. I don't like it.
It's the metaverse, baby.
I mean, there are some pluses to Threads, but they really, it is its own thing, and it is kind of suck. And I know they're still like tweaking the algorithm and stuff, but at a certain point, when I really started, before I even started using Blue Sky all that much, I started getting soured when I would visit Threads, and this happened like every time I'd visit it for a span of at least a week. I would end up coming away PO'd or irritated or frustrated because of the stuff it was showing me. And it's like, no. You're just turning into that. Rage click, like engagement bait, just crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, nah, I don't think this is going to be it.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Blue Sky has got plenty of political content. I'm seeing a lot of politics, but there's a lot more fun too. And that's, I think, what has been missing from Twitter, what's been missing from Threads, honestly. And, everybody, this just, I don't know. It's got a different vibe, and maybe I will recant all of this in 6 weeks.
Right.
But right now, like, it's a real groundswell of support. So like a lot of people are coming in, but I think the other thing that's nice is that you can report the bots, you can report the trolls, and you can just block. And it's like, boom, you're out. I don't care. Bye-bye. You came in to just make a mess, you're gone.
And that's the problem with like Threads. I would get in the habit of like, if I see, I'd block very easily. I just block, just I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they tweak their algorithm, and they just want you on that algorithm, your discovery feed or whatever it's called, or your For You. It's your For You.
Right.
Where it doesn't matter how much you block, eventually just some crap you don't want to see is going to get through. And Twitter, when it was good, was still a toxic cesspool.
Sure.
But
you understood it. Yeah.
You understood, and you could customize your feed, who you follow, mute words. And I know Threads has mute words, but like I said, Twitter, my Randall Sylvie Twitter account, I had abandoned at a certain point because I was like, I used to follow nothing but political stuff on there. This thing is a dumpster fire now. I don't want anything to do with it. But my Super Science account was rocking. And you could tailor a good experience. I mean, you can't now, not just because of the user base, but like Elon pulling away like essential features to be able to do that. But Blue Sky has that vibe, and it has that functionality. It's useful. Its hashtags are useful. Its lists are useful. I think Threads is getting nervous because they added some new feature where you can pin feeds now to your little thing, but follow a hashtag or whatever and pin a feed. Right. I'm like, but your hashtags are still trash.
Yeah, like why would I want that here?
Yep.
Like, make it work first. Then we could talk about pinning things.
And it's hard to like, a lot of people also I seen from on the Thread side that were bailing, or at least using Blue Sky more. I don't think a lot of them totally bailed, but it was the billionaire thing. Like, you're tired of social media. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be, stuck on some site run by a billionaire. And people would point out, but Jack Dorsey, Blue Sky, and that's true. And I don't think it's going to be hard pressed to find a tech site that can sustain millions and millions and millions of users without there being a lot of money in the background. But I don't think Jack Dorsey quit.
Oh, he's
Blue Sky.
He's out. Yeah,
he's gone. partially because they were like, no, we need to implement more
we
of
got to
these
moderate
moderation tools.
Yeah, we got to moderate this. And he's like, no, Elon Musk, I'm out.
Which is so weird because didn't he like bail on Twitter because of Elon Musk?
Yeah. He's a weird dude. They all
Yeah.
It takes a certain type to run a social media platform, I think.
Right. And not a good type, to be honest.
No.
I was watching something the other day and they were like really hammering home, like Mark Zuckerberg, he tries to do this and posts his like surfing in a suit with the American flag and tries to be whatever, and his sweet baby rays and whatever, tries to be quirky. And they're like, but also don't forget all of the like immeasurable amount of horrible things that have resulted and continue to result because of his companies, things that he is aware of and that he does not take actions on.
Yeah, he has no intention of.
Yeah,
he's like, I don't care.
He's still a horrible person.
It's making me money. It's yeah. I think that was also the other part for me is like, I if I'm gonna leave Facebook, I don't want to move to Threads. If I'm gonna leave Facebook, I don't want to go to Instagram. That's not what I want, because I know it's all just different flavors of the same. And the problem that I was running into on Facebook is that their algorithms are too good, but their algorithms are used for commercials. That's what their algorithms are used for. And it's just putting stuff in front of me that I want. Like the better I get, the better I am at like finding what I want on Instagram or Facebook or Threads, the better they are at just showing me that same stuff, but for money. And it's working. And I don't like that.
I mean, that's recognizing an issue and trying to take steps to separate yourself from that issue. It's interesting that they're having so much trouble kind of because they keep tweaking the algorithm on Threads. I think it's because they're not advertising yet. So they don't know what to put in there because they went way heavy on engagement bait stuff until people got PO'd. And then they said, well, we are going to filter out political stuff. And then the political stuff like ramped way up. And now just today or the day before, they're like, we tweaked the algorithm to try to emphasize people you're following. Oh, what a novel idea. But they don't know what to do because they can't jam it full of ads every 2 or 3 posts max.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the other part is like Facebook and Instagram. I have to scroll for a long time to see actual people things, because it's so full of ads. It's like every other post, it feels like sometimes at the like being generous, maybe 2 or 3 posts and then an ad.
The fact that Facebook, in order to you can get to your friend feed now.
Oh yeah.
But it's so buried. You have to go to feeds.
Right.
And then you have to go to friends specifically. Like it's so buried. Most people never even take the time to try to get there.
I don't anymore. I used to. At least it used to be like you could just go to your friend feed,
And on Twitter, before it totally went to crap, I would stick to I kind of do the same thing on Threads. My following feed is the main thing. I check that. But of course, the people I'm following aren't necessarily posting 100 times every hour, and if they are, I'm probably going to unfollow them because that's annoying. But will hop over to like an algorithm feed to the For You or something, and then hop back and forth and stuff. But I hate being forced towards one because the following feed will always be my main. That's how I use YouTube too. Like my subscription, hit that. That's my main thing. But most people don't do that.
Right. I know.
Old men shake fists at social media cloud.
At the sky.
Oh, in the cloud.
At the blue sky cloud.
Melanie had a great thing though, because I just realized what they call posts on
no, it's
Blue
so
Sky.
awful. so dumb.
Skeets?
It's not. Yeah, no. Who thought?
I was
that?
like, oh, skeet,
Stop it.
skeet. It's
Skeet.
bad.
Mm-mm.
So, and I had to point that out to Melanie, and she also thought it was bad. And I
'Cause
was
it
like,
yeah.
then I was like, it's very Twitter. Like their logo has even kind of, it's different blue, but it's still a blue. It's
Mhm.
blue sky, you know, instead of birds, tweet. And the thing is a butterfly. And she's like, well, why didn't they call post flutters then? And I was like, that would have been way better.
Or
That
a
made
flap.
sense.
I don't know. Maybe not.
flap.
A flap wouldn't be much better.
I'm gonna reflap. I'm gonna reflap that so hard.
Reflapping. Ooh, that's the wrong flap. Let me just say. Yeah, no, they shouldn't go that route.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my mind's just playing over things that I'm like, I can't say that. I can't say
Nope.
that on.
No, can't say
that
it.
on Grawlix.
Really can't.
We're a fairly clean show. We can't do that.
That's right. Even on nights.
Um,
Even on nights.
right,
It's the brand.
right.
It's the brand, whatever that is. Yeah. Who is this stream even for? ADHD.
Man, yeah.
If you followed any of this tonight, it's you know, you maybe need to take a screener. I advocate for that. I advocate for you.
Tonight was especially like when Melanie was on, and so we tried to talk about a thing, and then she'd get disconnected. So then we jump back to a different thing, and we just hop back and forth. Yeah. This is a bad show. I'm sorry. We got two eyeballs on us right now. Oh, we got one eyeball on us.
It's a bad show.
Somebody seriously was tuned in until I said that. Oh. But like, this isn't going anywhere. What are these guys doing?
Who is this stream for?
Amazing.
It's
It is
amazing.
amazing. Hey, hold on. Do you want to come tell people why it's amazing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's here to keep us on track.
Exercise. Okay. It's good for your muscles, bones, blood vessels, and immune system. And thanks to researchers at MIT, we now know exercise, thank you, can benefit neurons at the individual level. When muscles exercise, they release myokines, let's say, in a biochemical mixture. And observations showed that neurons exposed to myokines grew 4 times faster and larger than those that weren't. But since neurons are attached to the muscle and are pushed and pulled when the muscles exercise, engineers wondered if the act of exercise without the biochemical signature would still grow the neurons. So they set up a second experiment where the neurons were separated from the muscle and then stretched and contracted. And remarkably, the exercise alone grew the neurons significantly, meaning both the biochemical and physical effects of exercise are beneficial to the body. The findings also indicate that not only the growth rate and the size were impacted, but also the maturity and functionality of the neurons as well. Scientists believe this information will be beneficial in targeting damaged nerves for therapy and help restore mobility for people living with neurodegenerative disorders like ALS. But we can all benefit by remembering that exercise, like medicine, can help heal your body. So do it every day. That's it. I'm leaving.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm
Mic
amazed.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Yes, he says that is amazing.
It's a thing that bodies are meant to do, I suppose. Why does it suck so bad then?
When she said she's like medicine, exercise is good, and everybody should do every day, and she hit me on the gut. So I feel like that was a pointed story.
Snap.
Anyway, yeah, it's 9:46.
Yeah.
It's time to get out of here.
Yeah.
Sorry for such a harebrained, scatterbrained, whatever show.
We tried. Listen, we
Yeah.
were here. We tried. Froze our computers in order to make this happen
We did.
somehow. I don't know how that happened. It's never happened before. It better not happen again.
This is the second StreamYard alternative we've tried, and am turning down because it did not work.
Right.
Hey, well, guess what? If you want to hear another stream that's not quite as a goddamn, what happened to me? Not as quite as much of a mess.
Oh boy.
I don't think this problem is because of restream.
It's a
Tomorrow,
lack of
right. You're right. You're right. Tomorrow, I will be streaming, except there won't be any of these problems. It'll be the radio show that I've been doing for 30 many weeks, most of a year almost.
It's abyssal.
Yeah. Edge of the Abyss tomorrow on Helix Rock Radio. The URL is rockradio.live. Join me. I'll be streaming tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. Get ready to rock out. Get ready to what's a cool sounding thing? Because rock out doesn't sound that cool to me. Bang your
all right,
head.
you edge lords. Get there.
Edge lords.
Get there on the edge of the abyss.
How have I not made that connection yet? Edge lords. Well, I know what I'm calling the listeners tomorrow. Yeah, Edge of the Abyss, you edge lords. Come listen to some death metal, black metal, thrash, whatever else. I've been throwing some punk in there. Come join me on Friday nights. Yeah. Jesse, you got anything interesting, exciting you want to mention before we bounce out?
Not that I can think of, no.
Your video froze just long enough where I'm like, if it crashed his computer there.
Oh, no. Better not. Okay. Better not. This is working about as well as a Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Oh, did you? Okay, no, we can't. Did you watch?
I did, but no, we can't talk about it. And it didn't work. That's the main takeaway. It didn't work.
It was atrocious.
We had to watch it on our phones, and then we streamed the phone to the show, and that's the only way it worked. So, yeah.
The lead-in fights were good. That's all I'll say.
They were great.
Actually, I enjoyed the lead-in fights.
They were the real winners.
They were.
They got the Tyson platform. They got more eyeballs on their fights than they ever will again, and that's really the only thing that matters, I guess, because the main event was garbage. That's all you need.
It was trash. Yeah. Also, do you think both WWE and NFL were like sweating bullets watching this because they've got deals?
Yeah. And they're so much more popular than boxing too. Like people love football. There's going to be so many more end users, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be the pop culture moment that this was, but it's going to be a lot of people.
I was just like, dude, I bet some of those organizations are regretting those contracts right about now. Mm-hmm. This is not going well.
Yeah, they were not ready.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for viewing, for sitting through this. If you managed to get this far, Grawlixpodcast.com. GRAWLIX podcast.com and everywhere else too. All the places.
Everywhere.
We're there.